and welcome back. I know I haven't done a reading in quite some time. In fact, it's probably been a couple of months. But I feel the energy. In fact, touching my cards, it feels like I'm wired on caffeine is the best way to explain it. Currently shuffling. No idea what it's going to say. I'm not going to ask any questions. I'm just going to let the cards speak for themselves. And it's probably going to be quite a read, a longer read than normal. Because I'm working on trying to get better messaging and more information. And in doing so, and blah blah blah, in doing so, I'm learning astrology. And all the significant meanings. Okay, that is why I drank water. I'm not supposed to be joking. Water was supposed to help me prevent choking. And didn't work. Alright. I don't think it said there was a specific way, so let's just do this first. Ooh. Make sure you can kind of see. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So this is supposed to be a timeless reading. I believe I'm connected to the, what do you call it? I'm totally spacing. Everybody. Just go with everybody. Oh no, I forgot that one did nudity. That's fine, you can't see nothing. Just a booty. We'll cover up her tasteful art. Yeah. Ew. That's you to turn off. And one for the road. So, interesting. Gotta ground myself. It's actually been such a while, I've almost forgotten how to do this. Let's read. Card of Fate is a wild card, blah, 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 blah. For example, the servant under the master shows the actions of a relative. That's only if it's a suit card. Which it's not. And this time, oh boy. Okay. Something's telling me to do it slow, nice and slow, kind of patient and relaxed. Despite the collective consciousness, that's a freaking word I was thinking of. The collective consciousness. So, in the family life, we have the star. The servant under the master of family life shows the actions of relatives. So, in the relatives, jeez. Currently in the family life, it is a Ace of Wand. If it's a number card, it indicates particular actions taken by a relative. But if it's a court card, then that's a number card. So, let's see. I know the Ace of Wands is fire, but it also has to do with emotions. No, that's water. That's the cups. Inspired action. You know what? Let's just read the effing card. How about that? Oh, there it is. Purpose, intention, motivation, determination, awakening, beginning of action, source, and creation. And then the star card. Where are you at? One more. Hope, divine gift, cleansing of the soul, renewal of purpose, destiny, guiding light, and a wish granted, a guardian angel. This might actually be your energy. I know it says relatives, but within the family life. I'm already roasting. I can tell I'm connected to something. Motivation, determination, awakening will. Perhaps the family is starting to wake up a bit. Cleansing of the soul, renewal of purpose. So it's a little bit of both. I want to say part of it is your energy too. Perhaps you're starting to get more ideas. You're starting to get your motivation back. You're starting to feel like you again. And maybe the family is waking up to it. And being like, okay, I know my personally, I've had a fallout with my family and I just kind of stopped talking to them. They don't know who I am. They kind of gave up. Gave up on trying to connect with them. But the first thing on the star is hope. So maybe there's still hope for the family. Maybe there's hope for you and your family. I know a lot of us feel disconnected. A lot of people probably watching this read. Kind of the black sheep, just kind of the misfit, as they say. A renewal of purpose. That's the star. A renewal of purpose. It could be extended family too. It doesn't have to be direct blood family. Any family. Purpose, intention, motivation, awakening will, beginning of action. Source and creation. Interesting. Maybe I shouldn't be doing the read. I've kind of lost some of my confidence due to me not doing it, and that's why I haven't done one in a while. Perhaps that's what that is. That's a reflection of what it is. Could be coming home to yourself too. Family doesn't have to be people outside of you. It could be also spiritual family. Your guides, your higher self. Beginning of action. That's what's really standing out to me. Beginning of action and creation. So perhaps it's not blood family for some. Some it could be. Some it could be your family situation is being changed. They're actually kind of seeing you for who you are. Oh yeah, see, the star also says guardian angel. I'm so used to black and white and sticking to the book, but I'm just trying to get the energy that I'm getting. Because the book specifically says the servant, which is the bottom row, is specific family members or relatives. But again, oh, that's what it is. It is ancestors. It also could be ancestors tapping in. So take whatever resonates with you. Again, it's collective energy is an interesting bag of tricks. Let's go with that. So there's many, many, many messages. Take what resonates with you. What doesn't, just leave it. So for those, it is personal family. Perhaps they're starting to see you as you and accepting you as you. Maybe you've always felt outcasted and strange and they never got you. But now they're kind of giving you hope. Cleansing of the soul, renewal of purpose, destiny, guiding light, a wish granted, and guardian angel. Guardian angel is what really sticks out to me. It's because I forget we also have a spirit team of ancestors. Like I'm continuously told my grandpa and my grandma, I have a grandpa from my dad's side and a great-grandma from my dad's side, both deceased. But when they die, supposedly, if you believe, esoteric law, they have a choice. They can either move on or they can be a part of your spirit team and play a role in your life. Sometimes they just do it naturally. So the guardian angel could be, again, a family member in your life. And this is the specific actions they're taking is the Ace of Wands. Awakening will, beginning of action, and basically either giving you ideas or helping you move forward. Giving you the determination, the motivation, the renewal of purpose. Sometimes you kind of need help. Sometimes. Not always, but it does help. Oh wow, and we got the star and the sun right next to each other. And the moon. Holy shit. This is crazy. No wonder I'm roasting. A lot of energy. But let's take it a little bit deeper. There's more to it. So the star, once I find it, is Aquarius. The Aquarius, innovation, detachment, and rebellion. So yeah, kind of like I was saying before, you were the oddball in the family. I know I was. A little bit rebellious within the code of conduct with the family. Again, mine thinks I'm supposed to be a specific way, and I'm over here basically dancing to the beat of my own drum, as they say. A little rebellious against their ways, against the ways they believe. It's shook the whole family. And that's why I don't talk to them right now, is they just completely disagree with what I'm doing. And they have the right to. That's their prerogative. And then the Ace of Wands. Well, like we said, Wands is fire. The energy of fire is not just ideas. Action, passion, movement. So yeah, things are moving along. Whether it's, again, within your bloodline, personal, corporeal family, or it's your guardian angel, your ancestors are helping movement in the spiritual realm, which then causes movement in your physical realm. Oh, okay. Time to move on to the next card. That is enough information for that one. So we've got the Sun as the Master. Ooh, wrong direction. I feel so bad reading the cards. I watch some readers and they just know what it means. I guess I haven't been doing this long enough to just know. Then we got the Seven of Cups, Seven of Cups, Seven of Cups. Wands, Cups, the Eight of Cups. Ooh, so close. Ooh, we're short it by that much. So, within the Sun, we've got higher power, natural law, vital warmth, revelation, clarity, greatness, purification, self-awareness. And then for the Seven of Cups, we've got unfulfilled promises, visions of success, passive victory, error, deception, initial advantage is lost, empty sentiment, vain imaginings, and wishful thinking. Which categories? A social life. So once again, I hate doing this because it's not really about their energy, despite this reading being about people around you. I'm not trying to portray or strike in fear, but clearly you got some people chilling in your energy, in your space, maybe in your physical space, directly around you within your workplace. It says a social life, but people consider work to be their social life too. You know, you make friends at work, typically. You socialize with the people around you, whether that's at work, at home, you know, unless you don't. I'm not saying you do. I typically don't. So let's see. So purification tends to stand out to me, an essential truth, the center of the heart of what matters, and stripping away shadows. So essentially, there are some buttholes in your life who are being deceitful, deceptive, even vain, possibly. Unfulfilled promises, visions of success. No, that one doesn't make sense. Passive victory and error. Well, as we all know, as I was saying earlier, water has to do with not just emotions, but intuition and attachment. Oop, got a burp. I guess those are called confirmation burps. I also had a cough with it, so it was not a pleasant sound. But as they say, confirmation burp. So it could be people attaching themselves to you. I know I've had that before. I used to have a friend I streamed with, and he would only stream with me because he was more... Basically, he used my energy. Whenever I watched him solo, he was not as energetic, he was not as, outgoing. I don't want to say it's because of me, but it's like I had a high level of energy, and he would use it, basically, in a sense. So there's attachment there. Basically, just be careful. Be careful of the people around you, not out of fear, but just kind of out of detachment and discernment. Again, there are those who truly want the best for you, and there are those who don't. And they just act like they do. Let's see, what is the sun? Where are you? XIX, empty space, the sun. Well, go figure, the sun has to do with the sun. And within the sun, we've got identity. Interesting. How does that tie in? Okay. Excuse me, jeez. Identity helps you. Knowing who you are, being firm within yourself. I mean, I don't feel like, and this is a personal, I don't know, whatever you say, vindication, I suppose. It's taken me a while to learn who I am. I'm still learning. In fact, I think identity is something we always learn. You truly, constantly, always kind of see who you are. It's basically a life journey. The whole life is learning who you are. I'm not sure if you ever hit like that nirvana and, Oh, I know exactly who I am. You know, maybe you do. Maybe you do. In fact, this brings up an episode of Big Mouth I thought of. It's a TV show on Netflix. And there's one specific episode, this kid was whining and complaining about his dad because his dad's just weird. You know, they consider him weird. But another father looks at the kid and goes, "Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Your father has more courage than any man I've known. Sure, he's weird as hell, but that man knows exactly who he is. And he's willing to be it, despite everyone else." And within that, there comes the clarity. It kind of shows you, within knowing the firmness and the confidence of yourself, those who are supposed to be around you and those who aren't. Those who show deception. Oh, okay, so interesting. So the sun, let's see, which one stands out? Self-awareness. Self-awareness, greatness, and purification. So standing firm in your identity shows the unfulfilled promises, the visions, and visions of success. I was confused about how those two counter energies can exist in one card. Let's even look at the card itself. They're asking to borrow some of their energy, and this person's blocking it. I don't know if you can see the card very well, but yeah, you can see the card. So he's like, "Yo, fill up my cup." And this person's like, "No, no, I'm not, nope." Fill up your own damn cup. Just be careful. Again, use your discernment. Being grounded in yourself is definitely helpful. Because I know I've had moments where it's like, okay, is this just anxiety? Is this past patterns showing up? Is this person truly trying to harm me? Or is it, you know, my anxiety kicking in saying, can't trust nobody. Can't do it. Just use discernment. Don't live in fear. Be grounded and use discernment. The next one is the moon. And I bet you that has to do with the moon. I was wrong. It is Pisces. Huh. Well, let's read it anyways. Sun, Mr. Golden Sun. Anyways. The moon and the Ten of Swords, which looks like a negative card because his bro's about to get his head chopped off. So let's see what it has to say. Now the swords are wind, which has to do with air, thoughts, communication, and conflict. Okay, well, that is a very good sword or card for that. Picture. The picture is accurate. And then the moon has to do with Pisces, whose intuition, surrender, and illusions, which is a pretty big, pretty hefty thing of the moon. Let's see. So the moon says illusion, sterility, danger, on the path, hostile environments, traps, pitfalls, hidden enemies, deception, lies, concealment, need for caution. Basically, video games. It's a fucking video game. And that has to do with your work life. Ah, see. Okay. I'm already witnessing some of this crap myself. Like, again, at work, I've got a new job. I work with a bunch of kids. And of course, their egos are getting bruised when they see, you know, people judge, people assume. And then when you don't meet their standards, they get pissed. They get angry. They lie. That's actually how I lost one of my quote-unquote best jobs. Sure, there are things I did that could have led up to, you know, me getting fired, but ultimately what I got fired for was someone lying. They made up a story, lied to my manager, and without proof, I got let go. I found out later, due to an actual tarot reading, they were caught and admitted it, and what do you know? Not like it did any good, because I never got my job back. I don't want it back. But it came to light. The illusion was swept away, and they found out the person had lied. So there's no backtracking on that shit. And that's not the first time. It just happens. Whenever your sun shines a little bit too bright, there's always those in the darkness who, again, I've very, very quickly discerned who at work likes me and who at work does not. It is not a in-between. It's either they hate me or they love me. one or the other. And then those who tend to hate you because of their own insecurities lash out. No, I'm not supposed to be on the Seven of Cups. So the Ten of Swords is people around you, social life, work life, sorry. Disruption, failure, defeat, ruin, affliction, loss of discipline, and mental collapse. So it sounds like the enemies are failing. They're failing. So people have tried to lie and tried to set up pitfalls and traps and push your buttons, more or less. Push your buttons. I know, for instance, today, someone was trying to get me to come in. But I know when that happens, it's like everyone calls. And this isn't personal, maybe I'm taking this personally, but whenever I tend to work a shift, I end up being alone. Like, there's just no one there. I don't really fit in. Maybe I'm not, the nicest of people. I try to be. Try to be myself. That's what I am. And some people, again, like it, some don't. So if they have to work with me, again, I could be reading into this a little bit, but intuition, they tend to avoid me, basically. So if they find out I'm coming in, they try to avoid it. In fact, one of my first days I worked with someone, she just left. She called out sick late, and she worked a couple of hours and just bailed on me. And I had to close myself. So when I tend to close, I often find I'm closing myself most of the time. Even though there's like 5 people scheduled, only a third of them actually show up. So I refuse to go into work if I don't work. Someone's trying to call me in, like, unless it's a manager. Someone I work with is trying to call me in, then it turns out, this person called out, and because their friend needs to call out and they're going to go hang out, and blah, 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 blah. And then it leads to me just working by myself in a over-stressful job. Now, again, that could relate to you. I don't know why I'm telling the story. Maybe I'm just complaining. I don't feel like I am, though. I feel pretty grounded. Just really toasty. Basically, the Ten of Swords is cutting through the illusions. And you see this dude on the chopping block, although I don't believe anyone should get the chopping block. It's kind of leading back to Judgment. I wasn't going to get into the Judgment card until the very end. I tend to do the Wild card at the very end of the read. But it actually ties very much into this one specifically. So let's go back to the Judgment card. I'll read that one fast. It is number 1010, so 20. Guardian is fire. It does not coincide with any astrology, apparently. And as we know, fire, action, passion, and movement. So perhaps the illusions are moving. No, I gotta burp again. Jeez. Actually, it was a cough this time. You know what? Let's actually read it. This is one of the biggest things why people give me a lot of scrutiny, is I'm not willing to hold my punches anymore. Not out of ego, because there's a difference between ego and sovereignty. Being sovereign within yourself. So there's definitely times when people have upset me and done stuff and I want to get back at them. Like, say, I leave a nasty review because someone gave me poor service. Well, that's an ego trip. That's me getting offended, my ego getting offended, saying I didn't get my expectations. But then there's been other things, like I've left reviews on places that were actually not just hurting me, it's like a broken system. For instance, I haven't left a review. I wanted to, but I've noticed at my thrift store, they're actually changing the tags. That company never did that. Ever. Like, I worked there before. And now, recently, I've actually caught them changing tags and preventing people from getting sales. Now, here's the difference between uploading it out of ego and scrutiny, whatever, is sometimes I feel like noticing these patterns, I'm supposed to say something about it, like justice. But again, that could be easily led to self-righteous justice or sovereign justice. It's just what side of the fence you're on. So, basically, whenever you shine a light on other people's insecurities, they get triggered. They crap all over you, and they try to bring you down. It happens. It just does. Let me actually go find the Judgment card and see what that has to say. It is what it is. I don't mean to shit on people. People are people. I was one of them too. I had to grow out of it. Judgment, a reward for honor, favorable ruling, acquittal, proof of innocence, just desserts, impartial decision, elevation of rank or status. So again, it's not out of ego. I really hope that's not the case. Some people, yes, it is. Some people, it isn't. I feel kind of both sides of the fence. So you just being you, shining the light, is casting judgment on people, whether you mean to or not. Like I said, I've used my light to cast judgment on people, whether it was the right thing or the wrong thing. It's a learning process. Something we all have to learn. Something we all have to do. This one always bugs me. Love life, yay. Now this one is actually specifically somebody, because it is a court card. So is that one, but we'll get into that one. King of Discs is the King of Pentacles, which is earth, stability, money, and physical. And then the Justice card has to do with Libra energy, which is balance, harmony, and relationships. Ooh, so interesting. That's in the lovers, the love life. And then one more time, the Knight, specifically, is moving energy. Interesting. Okay, so give me a little bit more on that. Let's read the cards. Justice, I would have to say, is essentially, in my mind, the same thing as judgment. Kind of. Justice comes after judgment. Now, hopefully, it's a ruling in your favor. So that's going to be 11. Oh, we're going to go a little bit further back in the book. A little bit further. What up? Where are you at, baby? Almost there. Oh, wait. No. Yep, this is it. Wow, it has a long-ass reading. Balance. Balanced use of force. Like I was kind of saying. Weighing of factors, fair decisions, judicious authority, necessary adjustment, a wrong righted, truth revealed, and impartial hearing. Interesting. And then the Knight of Discs. The Knight of Dicks. Where are you at? Cups. Wands. Wait, isn't it in the back of the book? It is indeed in the back of the book. Hello, back of the book. Oop, too far. Oh, just kidding. I forgot this book is weird. Sorry. Instead of having the core cards in the category, the core cards have their own little section. It is what it is. Alright. So, it is androgynous. I'm just reading it. That is a sign to slow the fuck down. When my words are slurring and you can't tell the difference between A's and B's and stuff like that, I gotta take it slow. I got so much energy though. So when I say young man, it's just a description of the card. As we all know, these cards are androgynous. Energy is energy. It could be male or female. For me, I'm consider myself straight, so it would be female, if there's a female in my life. A young man or woman with a prudent and practical attitude, who stays the course until its conclusion. He is best at handling material matters. He has little sense of humor, and sometimes wonders what others find so amusing. He makes an excellent manager because of his talents for conserving resources and using them efficiently. That is something I've actually been learning, so it's a little bit of both. I know it says lovers, but one thing I've noticed from lovers card, the actual lovers card itself, is it's also self-love. So it may be a physical person, but it also might be yourself. Could be a little bit of both. Because again, this is something I have been learning quite a bit. Learning to handle my resources better and get me through what I need to, while still having fun, a balance. Just like Justice said, you see him balancing. It's almost looks like it's a symmetrical card except for his tentacles. Let's go back to that one. Balanced use of force and weighing in factors. So yeah, it's using resources properly. Okay. So again, it could actually be a physical person, but it could also be yourself. I'm learning in my current energy how to balance self-love. So for a while, like say, for those who know me, I am homeless and I live in my car. And a scarcity pattern says hold on to money because, you may never get it, blah, 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 blah. But as you can tell, I'm at a desk. I've decided to give myself a little self-love and take a break. I went to a hotel because I fucking need rest. Holy crap. I mean, I get some sleeping in my car, but that's all it is. It's sleep. It's not real rest. So I had to splurge on myself and give myself the appropriate amount of days. Gave myself a bed, a nice little area I can set up my computer and just rest and truly relax. And, like I said before, I was not accepting shifts. I will work my schedule for right now. This time is allocated to me. Instead of being in a scarcity pattern of, oh my god, I have to work like crazy and work myself to death, again, to get myself out of this situation, no, I gotta give myself a fucking break. I'm working. I'm making money. On the other side, give myself a break, damn it. But again, it could also be someone coming into your life to help you with this too. Because I know lately, especially in nowadays, it's extremely hard unless you have a really good job to live alone. Rent these days, I don't think there's a single place under $1,000. If there is, it's probably a crap hole or a hotel. And I've always thought I needed someone in my life to help me balance that out. Again, these days it's just really hard to live alone. So maybe there's someone coming in your life that is actually structurally balanced. That is one of the things I've always dealt with in my personal life, is people not being able to withhold their end. I've had roommates for the longest time and they all just kind of sucked. It is what it is. Excuse me. See? That was kind of a burp. Telling the story. There was a time when I lived with someone I worked with. Whoops. Just because it was simpler. It was easier. We worked together. We had a pretty solid schedule. It was me and him that worked the night shift. And we decided to be roommates to split the cost. Then I found out he was not good, in a sense. He would call in every other day, and which would leave me alone to run both stations, and he would miss half the payment. Even though there was two people, him and his wife, I was paying most of the bills because he just didn't work. So I've had stuff like that. People like that. So perhaps finally we're getting someone, I say we because I'm part of the collective, getting someone to help balance that out. Not that I need someone, because I've been surviving, and I'm sure I could work my way back up to a job or figure something out on my own. However, if it is coming in, that'd be nice. That'd be helpful. It's cool. I'm not too attached to it, like we were saying. Either that, or it could just be a friend. Love comes in all forms. It doesn't have to be actual relationship, a romantic relationship. Even though it is the lover's area, I'm finding these energies a little more broader or a little more grayer than I thought. So it could be any... Hopefully you can't hear that. Could be any kind of energy. Let's see what else. And then judgment. We'll get back into the judgment. Favor, ruling, proof of innocence, just desserts, wronged, righted, rank of restoration. Or wrong righted, yeah. I mean, this basically, they're almost the same card. Weighing of factors and a fair decision. The fair decision. My sister was the same way. She told me many stories about some of her roommates too. How often do we get into a roommate situation where it's crappy? The other person doesn't pull their weight. That is why most people these days want to be alone or roommate-less. I find I love my solitude, but I want social connection whenever I reach out for it. Sometimes you just get a bad egg, just a mismatch. Someone who doesn't match your vibe. But then you get in a living situation, you're just completely effed because, well, you're stuck there with them. I moved in with my best friend from 8th grade. When later in our adult life, when I was 22, 23, he turned out to be one of the biggest life lessons, let's put it that way. He was a very big life lesson for me, and we no longer talk. He actually lost his job, and I was doing things to support him. And eventually I just moved out and said, F you. Moved out on my own, completely screwed him. He kind of screwed himself, but you know what I mean. Then as I was saying, I always say this, even if you're not in school, life itself is school. So this has to do with school life and teachers. The universe, the world is a teacher, and life is nothing but a big class where we continue to learn. And in this energy, we got the King of Cups and the Hierophant. Since it is an actual court card, it could be someone, it probably is, someone within your direct life. What is the Hierophant, though? I know it has to do with movement and probably water. The Hierophant is Taurus. Ooh, actually grounded, earth energy. I was totally wrong, I was just looking at the card. So within the Taurus energy, stability, value, and endurance. Ah, you see he's enduring the waves. And those people are also enduring the drowning. I know you can't see the fine detail, but there's actually people around him drowning. Specifically in this artwork. Each person can pick their own depiction of the card. Upright, tradition, authority, religion, commandment, code of honor, duty, history. Basically, what you would imagine as a upstanding citizen. Almost like a priest or a minister or a pastor. Most people I remember growing up believing these people as like a white sheep, you know, the perfect people. They follow God. Kind of stuff like that. Or someone of high stature. Not status, but stature. I don't know. I'm kind of stuck on this dichotomy of oftentimes those people are actually the ones committing the most evil. And it's narcissism, you know. They look good on the outside. But there are actually people who are virtuous and, you know, upstanding citizens. And then since we have the King of Cups, it's further up in the book, the Knight of Monks. Wait, what? The Knight of Cups. That's what I said. Whoops. So, King energy, I'm gonna flip my page. Wrong direction. Nope, there it is. King energy is directing the energy extremely, or externally. Can't read my own damn handwriting. King energy is directing it externally. In fact, the King of Cups, a mature man who is sensitive and suggestible, graceful in his manner, easily led by others, willing to follow, but unwilling to lead. He is infected by the enthusiasm around him and energized by it, so that he thinks it is his own. But when removed from it, his enthusiasm quickly dies. His nature is inherently artistic, expressing itself more in appreciation than creation. So this kind of sounds like a double-edged sword almost. Because you kind of want to be strong within yourself, but being infected by the enthusiasm around you is a good thing in some aspects. I know, for instance, group work is helpful because bouncing ideas off each other is one of the best ways to develop ideas. I mean, sure, I can sit here and think of good ones by myself, but I know I've had some of my best ideas talking to people, and something in our conversation sparks it. And I'm just like, oh my god, I just had this great idea from something you said. And then the Hierophant, let's go back to that. Code of honor, duty. So whether it's your energy, because it doesn't specify, you could be your own teacher. I mean, who else to learn life besides yourself? You are the teacher and the student kind of thing. You have to teach yourself. I have to teach myself these lessons. Or the universe does, one or the other. You're also part of the universe though, so it's just... I went an esoteric trail I'm not willing to go down right now. So let's be more specific. It's a person. A person. It could be an actual physical person. Or, going back to the ancestor guide, could be a guide as well. Doesn't have to be a corporeal person. Could be an ancestor. A priest, a minister, a church, a temple, morality, confession, weight of precedence, authority, an authority figure. That's what stands out to me. This one's a little different. Again, it's also androgynous, so it could be a female, male, female. Let me go back and see what this wild card says. Card phase. Wild card that can be used to key understanding the layout. Should be considered in conjunction with a pair, so it's almost like the bridge. The master gives the background and it presently exists in a particular area of life. The servant shows the future, holding the events of events that grow out of the present situation. So present, future. Interesting. So perhaps holding up your own tradition, your own authority, and your own code of honor actually leads into reward, favorable ruling, and proof of innocence. Just desserts. Elevation of rank. There you go. So, I do kind of feel like this is your energy, the personal energy. It does speak about other people, which, again, it is possible. Someone could be coming into your life. I don't know how soon. I can't tell you that. I don't really know. Because I've often read readings, and it's like, oh, it's going to happen within the next 3 weeks. And it's like, all right, cool, and it never fucking happens. So, I ain't going to give you a time frame. But whether that person be yourself, graceful in his manner, easily led by others, this feels like a positive card. I've always imagined being led by others not so great, and that's my own personal trauma. Because I've been led astray. A lot of the times I try to listen to someone who I feel has more input or more knowledge than me, and it's led me astray. It's completely fucked me. Many times. However, loosening up, again, movement, water, going with the flow in a good sense, going back to identity and using your own discernment. Again, never just trust somebody to the point that you abandon yourself. Okay? So trust people, be willing to be open and move and be fluid, but be self-sufficient as well. So the Judgment card, I don't even really feel like I need to read into it. I mean, the cards kind of just spoke for itself. And let's go down the line. So what did we see? I'm not even going to use the book for this one. Because then they also do a crazy reading where it's read down the line, and it's also it's like a freaking crossword puzzle. So, the star, the sun, and the moon, leading into justice. So shine like the star, which is illuminating all the illusions, creating balance and stable grounding, which is allowing you to endure. And because of that, those around you are getting judgment. Whether it's good or bad, sometimes, I often find judgment is inflicted upon yourself. If you do something bad, you go to jail. You get judged because of an action you've done. But it could also be good. I don't really see judgment as a good thing, but it's just personal. Then the Ace of Wands. Now this one's I'm going to be totally pulling out of my butt. The Ace of Wands does have to deal with yourself. And you've got ideas, you've got energy. In fact, you can even see the 7 colors coming out of the gemstone. You've got energy. You've got ideas, you've got movement, in a sense. The inspiration. But keep some of it to yourself. Be careful of who you trust. Because you might end up on the chopping block, chopping block yourself. Or they might. Again, these people who try to take from you end up getting their own judgment. Which leads into, once again, the stability of the physical realm. The Knight of Discs is movement of the ground, of money, of physical abundance, just ground itself. More grounding, more presence. And then the King of Cups, like I just got done saying, leads into being self-sufficient. He's allowed to move. He's actually one of the kings that seems to move around. Hold on. King of Cups. Oh, possibly being led by others actually leads you to the Knight of Discs. I know they're not in order, but following other people instead of just always constantly thinking you're going to have to do it yourself. That's where discernment comes in, and standing your ground and knowing when to offer energy and when to not. It's not just completely hold the energy from everybody. It's share it with the right people. Sharing it with the right people actually will lead you forward and creates more stability than what you have within yourself. Okay, I think I'm going to cut it there. I am roasting like a chicken in a pot pie. I don't know where I was going with that analogy. Oh man. I need some more water. Hopefully that was useful. I got a lot of information out of that one. Oh damn. I don't even know how long the video's been going. Oh my god, I've been going for almost... What? That is not 2 hours. No, you liar. That's crazy. Okay, I'm gonna cut it here. Holy crap. Y'all have a great day.